Hey Virgo, this is Michael with your June 2022 reading. I'm just going to be honest with all of you. I have had such a hard time getting your reading out. I had to record an intro maybe 7 times. I was having a hard time getting into your energy and really channeling these messages for you. And when I had finally gotten through the full reading, I realized that your reading, amongst a whole bunch of others, had no audio. So Mercury retrograde was very, very rude to me, and I'm a Virgo myself. We're ruled by Mercury, so whatever Mercury is doing can really, really affect us. Maybe I was also kind of connecting with your energy in all of that chaos. Maybe it feels like things have gone haywire. Maybe things feel really chaotic or just really hard to get your point across or to communicate or just get a sense of clarity on things. I do already have all of your cards on the table here. We're going to break this down and see what we have in store for you for June. Before we dive too far into it, I really appreciate all of your patience and understanding and support for me and this channel. It really means so much. So thank you for your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. All of that helps this channel. It allows me to keep putting out these messages. I do also have a Patreon for those of you who feel so called and are able to support in that way. I'm offering live streams as well as all my astrology notes for each of these monthly videos. You can find kind of a note section for each of your signs. So if you're interested in learning more about the astrology or just having it in writing, I know for myself that's kind of easier for me to understand. All of that is available in the description box down below. Anyways, Virgo, the energy was no doubt very chaotic as I was connecting with you and this Mercury retrograde, which has actually ended as of June 3rd. And so we are in this catch-up phase now, and sometimes Mercury direct is when we notice the mistakes we made. We notice the video had no audio. We notice the miscommunications that have occurred or the things that kind of flew under the radar while we were going through the Mercury retrograde cycle. And in some ways, I almost feel like Mercury going direct can be the hardest part of the Mercury retrograde cycle. And I'm not saying it always is, but more often than not, I feel like that's when I really see people kind of experiencing the brunt of things. And I've noticed for even my friends and family members, a lot of things have just kind of come up. And it's also interesting that Mercury has gone direct pretty much the same day before Saturn is going retrograde. And when Saturn goes retrograde, it's a very interesting kind of energy because in some ways it actually lightens the load. It relieves the pressure. But it's almost like when in that moment it is going retrograde or direct, we really feel it because Saturn goes retrograde for quite some time. It's going to be retrograde until October 22nd. So we're going to be in this retrograde period for the next few months, and we're really going to be feeling kind of a shift taking place in June. And the way it really feels to me, it's almost like people are just having this moment right now where they're just fed up. There is this breaking point, and it's like, I can't keep doing things the way I've been doing them, or something just needs to change. I can't go on like this anymore. But this is actually kind of a blessing in disguise because it's helping us reprioritize. It's helping us focus on what really matters. And ultimately, there is a need to simplify this month and really this year at large. And the first card I had for you was actually the Nine of Cups. And this is all about happiness. This is about fulfillment. Maybe there have been some manifestations you've been making. Maybe things have been going very well. I know for my Virgos that I've been connecting with over these past few months especially, it feels like things are really just lining up for you. So there have been things that have made you happy. There have been things that have kind of helped you connect with your sense of joy. Even if they haven't all manifested, there's been something that's been helping you feel more hopeful or just getting a better sense of what it is that makes you feel fulfilled, even if those things haven't arrived for you yet. But we do have the Magician in reverse, and this is kind of coming out of this Nine of Cups energy. This very much reminds me of Mercury retrograde because the Magician is actually Mercury as a major arcana. And so this is a card that kind of represents our energy. And even though there have been a lot of things that have gone right, or there's a lot of things that we are aligning with, we might not necessarily have felt that, especially in the month of May. And I almost feel like we've been learning to be happy even when things aren't going our way all the time, even when life is a little bit chaotic. So that's going to be an important energy and lesson to kind of keep in mind for this month. We are still very much in Gemini season. And to be honest with you, Virgo, when I was doing the readings last month, I was saying in a lot of these videos, it felt like this Mercury retrograde was going to be very, very potent because Mercury was in its sign Gemini, or one of its signs of rulership, Gemini, the other being our sign, Virgo. And as Virgos specifically, we actually can have a harder time with the Gemini energy. And it can really make us feel very scattered and disorganized and have a hard time focusing on things. And if things have just felt very out of place for you, that makes a lot of sense with the Magician here, because the Magician upright is you have all of these elements in place. You have all of the aces here. You're able to manifest. You're able to understand things from a higher perspective. You're able to work with the energy. And so it feels like things felt aligned, and then all of a sudden things felt very disconnected, or disjointed is actually a really good word that's coming up. And we're still kind of in this energy now, I think, for the first part of June. And I want to tell you to stay grounded with the Queen of Pentacles here. And part of part of Saturn going retrograde, Saturn is going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius for us represents our 6th house, especially if you are a Virgo rising and you're watching this video. I always recommend watching these videos for your rising sign if you really want to figure out how the astrology could apply to you specifically. But even if you're a Virgo sun or moon, you're still going to feel some resonance with these. Or at least with the astrology of the video. And the tarot will definitely apply. Anyway, with Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius, our 6th house, or house of wellness and routines and health, I think there is a message here that you need to take care of yourself. And when I think of the Queen of Pentacles here, she's someone who understands things for the long term. She understands seasons. She understands cycles. She knows there's a time to plant the seeds so people will be fed later. And that's kind of the energy I think we're being forced to enter into, or it's the energy we're invited to step into, is, okay, how can I make all of this stuff that I'm doing work in the long run for me? Because the challenge you have is the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Wands. And this really is about feeling overworked or overextended. There may be a lot with this Gemini season that just feels like you're juggling too many balls, or there's too many things for you to carry. And it's almost restricting the flow of your manifestation or your energy with the Magician in reverse. And when I pulled this second card in this spread, it's specifically about what lessons have we learned, or how can we go through the energy of this month. And this is kind of like advice. And when I see the Magician, to me it's almost like going back to the basics. What are the things that made me feel healthy? What are the routines that help me feel peaceful and content and help me do the work that I need to do? And sometimes when our lives feel really, really chaotic, it's very easy to not prioritize our self-care, especially for us as Virgos. But it's almost like that's when those patterns and routines matter the absolute most. So make sure that you're taking some time to meditate, even if that's just a few minutes in the morning before you jump into your day. Don't just go in, go, okay? Don't throw yourself to the wolves. Give yourself some moments or some time throughout the day to really just connect with yourself, to take care of yourself, to breathe, and to connect with nature, with the Queen of Pentacles here as well. We do have a full moon in Sagittarius, And for you, this is really about home and family. And so maybe there is a change happening in your home or with your family or even with your overall sense of lineage or heritage or place of origin, just to kind of cover the gambit of what this could really be for you. Um, there could be a change at home or the way you relate to home or something that is happening. This actually could be good news. This doesn't have to be a negative thing, but sometimes even positive changes are still stressful in our system. So keep that in mind with the Ten of Wands. I'm even thinking some of you may be hearing from family that there is a exciting announcement like a wedding or a new baby that's on the way. And maybe there's something that's affecting you in that as well that's kind of like stressful. It might be good stress. It might be welcome. But it's still like just another thing that's kind of on the radar and you're like, oh man, I have to plan for a wedding. I have to do all these things. That might be coming up as well. So with the Ten of Wands, I really want you to simplify this month. And that might be a challenging thing. That might be a tough call. What are the things I really need to focus on and what's worth letting go? But we do have the Nine of Pentacles here in the future, kind of wrapping up this month, energy we are going into. And the Nine of Pentacles is this beautiful, beautiful energy. It's actually Venus in Virgo. And it's very much about having time and space for yourself. There is abundance here. So if there have been financial concerns, you don't have to work so hard. I actually feel like financially you are figuring things out. You are sorting things out if they've been challenging, or they will continue to be pretty balanced throughout this month. Maybe you're working really hard on something. But with the Nine of Pentacles, it really is just about having space and having time and having this kind of garden or this place to go to. I really want to tell you to connect with nature a lot this month, Virgo. And we are ending off this month, with a new moon in Cancer. And this is kind of interesting because Cancer represents our 11th house. Our house of friendships, of social gatherings, of networking, and our ideals. But there's also this kind of reclusive energy that can sometimes come up with the Nine of Pentacles. I wonder if some of you are actually going to a party like that's near or at a garden. I know that's really, really specific. But I feel like there is this need to actually connect with people kind of towards the end of the month. Maybe that's more energy for July, to be honest. But I think on some level, you do want to have some time and space for yourself, but don't become a complete hermit. Don't go into hermit mode towards the end of this month. The new moon in Cancer is actually a really, really beautiful energy overall because the 11th house, Cancer, for us, is really the way that the universe supports us. And it's the only master number of the houses. It's 11. So it has that kind of repeating energy of the ones. And with that energy, there is just the universe trying to support us. And very often the universe supports us with friends or through helpful people or through opportunities that we can kind of get through networking. I keep seeing like the garden party, and maybe that's just because I have the Nine of Pentacles here, but there's something about a garden this month as well. And maybe you meeting someone there, or just having like a good time or a networking thing happen. Anyways, with the new moon in Cancer, this is just a great time to manifest. And the new moon is very, very powerful in Cancer because the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer. It's domicile. And there's actually a lot of planets this month that are going to be in their domicile signs. This actually happened last month as well. We have Mars in Aries. We have Venus in Taurus. Mercury is going to be returning into Gemini. We have Neptune in Pisces. We have the moon in Cancer. And so there is a lot this month that feels like a course correction. And so if things feel off, just consider it a course correction. I do want to clarify this Nine of Pentacles, actually. We have the Six of Cups and the Five of Swords. Ooh, this is really, really interesting because there is this energy of walking away, and very often this does talk about a person or a situation where it's hard for us to feel like we can really win the situation. But then we also have the Six of Cups, which is about reconnecting with the past, reconnecting with people, and really just getting in touch with this very sweet energy. And that's kind of funny that this is coming up with the Nine of Pentacles. Maybe you do need to take some time away from people, but I feel like there is this reconnection that's happening. And I actually feel like a lot of you are going to be reconnecting from people or with people from the past or even from your childhood or earlier chapter in your life. And maybe that's where there's kind of this gathering, and it's in a very peaceful or neutral place. And I'm sorry if you're hearing a lot of background noise. I know there's like fireworks, I'm hearing sirens. Maybe there's just a lot of background noise in your life as well. Love this. We have the Empress. I love, love, love this card for you. The Empress is Venus energy. And with this Empress energy, it reminds me so much of like the Nine of Pentacles here. There's a lot of abundance you are coming into. And maybe some of you are hearing back from family members or friends, because I almost wonder, for a few of you anyway, maybe you are in such a good position. It's like people are asking you for resources or help or support in some way. And it kind of feels like people who you had to walk away from before. And if it's not like actually money, sometimes it feels like people will just kind of come back into our life when we are stepping into a really good chapter, or things are already going very well for us. It's like, oh, this is when you come back into my life. You weren't there before when I was going through all this stuff. And it's almost like they want something out of you, or they kind of want to leech this energy. I do kind of wonder if that is an element for some of you. But I think it is ultimately important to have a connection with other people. And whether or not this can be people who are from the past for you or people you haven't seen in some time, this is a general reading. It's really going to depend, to be honest. But overall, I feel like you're just coming into a really beautiful, beautiful energy. And I love, love, love to see this. And I think with Venus in your 9th house as well, maybe there is something with travel or opportunities abroad or connecting with people across vast distances. There could be some travel. And maybe there is like traveling to go to a celebration or a party or something like that. Kind of thinking of the Empress as Venus too, we do have Neptune going retrograde as well. And with Neptune going retrograde in Pisces, this is going to kind of clarify a lot of things about relationships overall, especially romantic relationships and business partnerships, people who you really are very much connected with or are building something with or building a life together with. So maybe there are some themes around relationships and this need for distance, but also needing to reconnect with people and kind of finding the balance between these things. That could be very thematic for you. When Neptune goes retrograde, it's kind of like a veil is being lifted. And there might actually be something that gets revealed around that time, especially with a partner or even in a partner's life. It doesn't necessarily even have to be like anything bad in your relationship or anything that comes up in your relationship itself. It could be your partner has something going on that's also going to affect you too. With Neptune going retrograde, that will be happening until December 3rd. So that's going to be quite some time. But it is also going to make you very, very intuitive and very, very aware, especially in the month of July, because that's kind of, again, more the July reading, I would argue. But with this Cancer new moon, your intuition is really coming on and turning on. And you're going to be seeing things very, very clearly. The Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is like this crystal clear intuition, cutting through the bullshit, cutting through the illusions. But it's in a very self-possessed way. And maybe this is kind of the energy I'm picking up on for you, Virgo. It's like you're so self-possessed, you're actually taking care of yourself by the end of this month and into July, where before you were kind of just working really hard and trying to please everyone, especially with this Queen of Pentacles. It's like you're trying to make sure everyone's happy and taken care of. But then with the Ten of Wands here, it's like there's a moment this month where you really just need to reprioritize things and take care of yourself. And it's almost like when you take care of yourself, it feels like people get offended by that. And it's not you being cruel or mean. It's almost like people have been used to getting what they wanted out of you. And maybe that's why the Five of Swords is showing up. There might be some people who are walking away from you, actually. But I don't feel like you're very emotional about it. You're in the Empress energy. You're in the Six of Cups energy. You're in the Nine of Pentacles energy. There's a lot about you really nurturing yourself and finding healthy relationships, kind of interdependent relationships where you both support each other. And I feel like that's really important to focus on. There's a lot of Libra energy with the Queen of Swords and the Empress, actually. So maybe some of you are connecting with a Libra, or this is about a Libra. Or maybe some of you even have Libra energy in your chart. The Queen of Swords specifically actually is the last 10 degrees of Virgo and the first 20 degrees of Libra. So maybe you do have some later kind of on the cusp energy with your Virgo placements. That might be interesting to kind of look at in a natal chart. But anyways, you're stepping into this Venus energy, and it's really about you finding nurturing relationships and nurture in your life at large. And that's going to be the thing that helps you manifest what you want. If it feels like things aren't going well for you at the start of June, I just want to assure you, it feels like there are manifestations, there are these blessings coming. It's almost like you're working so hard or you're so worked up that the energy is becoming constricted. And that's really important when we're talking about things like the law of attraction. If we feel the stress or tension in our body, that's almost our body's way of telling us that the energy itself is restricted. So really allow yourself to relax, allow yourself to ground, allow yourself to open your body. That will actually help you open up to the energy that is coming in for you that feels really, really beautiful and really, really nurturing and healing and just yummy. And I feel like there's something about the finer things in life at the end of this month, which is really, really interesting. You're connecting with the finer things. Maybe that's what that Libra energy is. I kept seeing gardens. I kept seeing dinner parties. I kept seeing like beautiful dresses and high fashion. That could be something that is coming into your life right now. And maybe that doesn't seem like anything that you would expect, but be open to it. I'm just feeling a lot of luxury, actually. Anyways, Virgo, those are all the messages I really feel called for you. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you are gathering yourself. I hope you're able to find the center in any chaos in your life. I feel like you will, to be honest. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if this was helpful to you. As I said before, it really helps me put out these readings and continue doing this incredible work. And I'm so, so grateful for all of your support and your understanding and patience with me. And I will see you all in the next video. You are welcome to check out the videos for your moon or rising sign if you haven't already. There will be a playlist shortly and you can click on that. Take care, Virgo. Have a happy and blessed June.